Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hoard of Tales Women in Gaming Month. We are super excited to be here and be playing Good Society, a Jane Austen-esque Regency TTRPG with rumors, scandal, manners. Only time will tell. I would like to introduce our lovely cast of characters, and we'll ask them to introduce themselves, starting with Taylor.
Hi, I'm Taylor. I use she, her pronouns, and you can find me online different places at Roll for Felicity. Let me remind myself of what we're supposed to say because I was not thinking I was going first.
Fair. Could you just describe what you look like and what you're wearing for accessibility purposes?
Yes.
And then mention your the major character you'll be playing in the connection.
Right. Cool. Yes, I am a white woman with dark brown hair. I'm wearing teal glasses. I'm wearing a little pink floofy shirt, which is the closest to Regency clothes that I get. And I'm going to be playing as my main character, Ms. Lavinia Fitzgibbon, who uses she, her pronouns. And then I will also be playing Lady Camille Durand, the Duchess of Normandy, as a connection, who is an older woman who uses she, her pronouns.
Amazing. And when we get to those characters, we will describe what they look like and what they're wearing. Taylor, Anne, please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Anne. I use she, her pronouns. I am a Filipino woman with bleach blonde hair, wearing a loose-fitting, flowy blouse. And I will be playing Lady Eloise Durand, who uses she, her pronouns. Yeah, she is a very young, pale, blonde woman who is in her early 20s, 23, I want to say. Let me check that sheet.
Yep.
And I will also be playing Mrs. Grace Callahan, who is a connection for Jonathan Callahan, who is Jonathan's sister. That's it. I remember this.
We're all super prepared, and none of us are sleepy. Thank you, Anne. And Caro.
Yeah, hi. I'm Caro. Pronounced she, they. Yeah, and I totally forgot what we were supposed to do. I'm so sorry. My brain is so fried.
That is. I think we're all on the same page. So we want to just also describe what we're wearing and what we look like.
Yeah, totally forgot. Yeah, I'm a white femme with a little bit over shoulder length turquoise hair, a little bit of makeup on, a white blouse, and a black necklace. And I'm going to play today Mr. Jonathan Callahan. I pronounce he, him, who is a tall, grown male with like dark brown hair, hazelnut eyes, like a bit broad shoulders. So yeah, rather nice looking, I would say. but
Classic Regency.
Yeah, but probably looking a bit too stiff.
And the connection that you're going to play?
Yeah, I'm going to play. Give me a sec. I have the sheet somewhere. I'm going to play as a connection Mrs. Hester. I cannot pronounce that.
I think it's just Dalrymple.
Yeah, Dalrymple.
Yeah, Dalrymple. Who
We're just going to
is-
call you. We're just going to refer to you as Lavinia's boss. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. She's just.
You also
just
won't have
living
to
in
say
the
your
boss.
own name too much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
You know,
true.
Unless Hester is someone who refers to themselves constantly in the third person,
first
which I
and
don't
last
think you'll want to
name.
do. Yeah. Hester has arrived. Yeah.
Mr. Dalrymple is here.
It could be the brand of this person.
It's true. It could. It could. But yeah. But I think that would just make your life more interesting.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
so we should pick another character whose brand is they refer to themselves only in the third. But yeah, so okay, and then also to introduce myself, I'm your facilitator, Una. My pronouns are she, her, and I am an Indian woman. I have curly black hair that is currently was supposed to be knotted stylishly at the base of my neck, but is doing something under these headphones. I'm wearing a off-white lace top thing with sort of pistachio green scarf around my shoulders to give the effect of a Regency era wrap, because you have no idea whether I'm wearing sweatpants underneath. So, to get us started, let's just say that we have established our lines and veils in a session 0 before this stream, just to save time. We have also talked a bunch about these characters that this fine cast just mentioned, and what they mean or might mean to one another. And so there are some elements of this game that are established beforehand, such as character desires, the kind of family background that they have, and things like this. But hopefully, through some collaborative storytelling, we will be able to tell you more about them without telling you more about them. So, a couple of content warnings and trigger warnings. Even though we have decided as a group that we do not need the story to be historically accurate, nor do we need gender roles to be portrayed as historically accurate, there are going to be some mention, there is going to be some mention of marriage and of relationships that are, at least the approach to them is traditional. And so it might be, if that's not your cup of tea, that's completely fine. In fact, just go and have a cup of tea. Jane Austen will survive. It's all great. But if that is your cup of tea and you have enjoyed consuming Jane Austen-esque media over the years, then maybe join us and get an extra Jane Austen story just for you. So, with that, why don't we say that we are going to start gameplay, and we are going to start our story in this little hamlet called Habisher, and it is the height of summer. There is gorgeous greenery all around. It is a fairly isolated little hamlet. There are loads of fields and rolling fields for miles around. So it takes anyone who is coming from a larger city perhaps a day at least to reach. There are several prominent families that live in this hamlet. However, there are many, many others with little small businesses that have been here for generations. And everyone who lives here, almost everyone, aside from people who visit and might take up their space in an estate that they were not born in, aside from those few, most of these people have lived here all their lives, and so have their parents and grandparents. There is a lot of correspondence that happens, much like any other Regency story. And you will see some of that. But where we begin today is there is a ball that is taking place to welcome a visitor to the Fitzwilliams house, who is Lady Eloise Dumont. And for this ball to be taking place, Featherfield Park has decided to open its doors and welcome the community. So the ball has just begun. About half the guests have arrived, and half of the guests are kind of waiting in their carriages around the corner to see who else has arrived first. And those who have already arrived are mingling, sort of waiting for the dancing to begin, and just trying to get a lay of the land and figure out what's happening, because it's been a while since they met last. They haven't yet caught up on the gossip of the summer. They haven't yet caught up on the gossip of the spring, unless they are very close. So, who amongst the characters is already at the ball?
I think this is also, I was gonna see Anne if you would be down for this. I was thinking that Miss Lavinia is probably already there, and maybe she and Lady Eloise are getting ready together, like kind of putting the finishing touches on their outfits. What would you think about that? Or do you think you'd be getting ready solo?
I was wondering about something actually, because so Featherfield Park is not where Lady Eloise is currently staying, correct? They're just welcoming her into the community.
Oh, okay. I was thinking that's where you were staying.
So she doesn't actually live there. So yeah, I just wanted to clear that point out.
Okay.
She doesn't live there, but I mean, if you wanted to get ready there, I'm sure it could be arranged that you and whatever friends you picked had stayed overnight just for preparations for the ball, and that you could get ready there. That's fine.
That's totally up to you. I was thinking for some reason that was where you lived. So, yeah, I think. I mean, regardless of how, like,
if you.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to suggest that if you wanted to do a getting ready together thing at the Fitzwilliams house, that would be cool. I just I just wanted to clear up that Lady Eloise does not live at Featherfield Park.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, I think we would. Is it fair to say we'd be arriving together, do you think, or do you think we'd be arriving separately?
That's a good question. I think Lady Eloise has this weird quirk that's just like, oh, maybe I should wait like 5 minutes after you go in.
Yeah.
So it's, like, so it's like super chill. So people don't think we're like together, but
right.
also
Okay.
like, so they have
that.
It's like the montage conversation of them getting ready or whatever, and they have it's mostly a montage, but then there's a moment that zooms in on them that's like, okay, so I think, for the sake of propriety, you should probably get there first, and then we'll wait, like, we'll just time it so that people don't think anything weird's happening. But like, I promise we're still like totally like,
I think if that's the case, then I think Lavinia is actually there very early because she doesn't have her own carriage, but doesn't want people to know. So I think like she left and like walked over there, but she didn't want anyone to see her arriving via like on foot. So she was like the first one there, like was very, very early. And then if anyone asks about it, she's just like, Oh, yes, I just let my my footman, we'll be here for a while. I thought I would just let him, take a turn about the countryside and like is pretending that she has her own carriage, but she does not.
So I'm going to say that as you come in super early to this ball, I'm going to say that so Featherfield Park is being let by the Wilkinsons, and so Lady Wilkinson greets you and says, "Miss Fitzgibbon, you're here rather early."
Oh, yes, I was getting ready and then I thought, oh, it's so nice out. I'll take a turnabout in my carriage. And then we just ended up getting here quickly. And so I just thought I would go for a little walk. And then I was still a little early. So I thought, well, I may as well get there early and freshen up. And
Right.
I'd love to open a ball.
Well, naturally, all the loveliest ladies like yourself should naturally open the ball. But my dear, the bottom of your gown seems to have gotten slightly muddy on your turnabout the garden.
Yes,
Perhaps I can show you.
I didn't want to say anything, but there is quite a large puddle right outside of the door. And so I thought maybe one of your people could see to it so that, no one else has to go through, what I've gone through with my dress.
Of course. Oh my goodness, that cannot happen. The amount of muslin that will have to be dried and pressed. Can you imagine? Fine. How about I have Smithers show you to the powder room, and perhaps you can freshen up, my dear. People will be arriving. Other people will be arriving soon, I'm sure. Yes, and obviously, you arriving this early will simply give us a chance to catch up. I have not heard your stories of the spring, what you have been up to these past months. I simply don't know.
Lavinia, just doesn't say anything, nods, and goes to, go off to freshen up. I should also describe what she looks like, because I don't think I have yet. She is young, she's 21. She is wearing a very fashionable, the latest fashion dress. Now, I don't know enough about Regency dresses or what specific year we're in to know, but it is, the latest fashion. She has blonde hair that's, very, 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 very curly. So it's just, all these curls in the front, all these curls in the back, and blue eyes, and very, kind of cheerful looking, kind of a cheerful disposition, I would say.
Okay. Amazing. So, and is she wearing any jewelry?
That's a good question. I was thinking maybe I'll also have to ask Anne about this, but I was imagining that she had one of those necklaces that has the profile of someone else. I don't remember what they're called. And if she was, it would be of Lady Eloise. But I don't know if we're far enough on our relationship that she would have that. So if she is wearing jewelry, it would be that. But if she doesn't have that, then she wouldn't be.
So I had a thought, and I don't know if this would work with your idea, but I think maybe they met briefly a previous summer or a previous season, so they know each other, but they're there's it's not super deep into the relationship, but they do know each other.
Okay. So then probably no jewelry.
That was kind of my idea.
Yeah.
So then do you want to use one of your resolve tokens to say that this happened in the past?
Yeah,
I would like. Oh, well, is it my resolve token or Taylor's?
Depends on who's making.
Yes, I was the one who. I mean, I would like to offer the resolve token to Taylor, I guess. That's how this works, right? I know how this game
Yeah.
works. Sure.
We're
Yeah, I'll
all
take-
very well versed in this game.
That's
Yeah, I'll take a resolve token to establish that we know each other, but we're not like an established couple publicly.
There's
Is that the
vibes,
vibe?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
full
Okay.
disclosure, I
There we
am
go.
totally pitching this as the Regency era, like summer fling, whatever the equivalent of that is. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Love it. Okay,
Okay.
so just so I know, Taylor, so you're not Lady Lavinia, Miss Lavinia. You're not wearing a locket though.
No.
Okay, cool, great. So you're off powdering your nose, and so the Lady Wilkinson, I think I said her name was Lady Wilkinson, looks up and do you think, Jonathan Callahan, that you might be arriving?
Probably like in between of the time. Not too early, not too late.
But do you want to arrive before Lady Eloise Dumont?
Probably after her.
Okay. Lady Eloise, you okay with that?
Yeah, I had a question about Mr. Callahan's sister. Do you think that maybe she would have been invited, like, because Jonathan's not very good with people, that perhaps maybe their sister dragged them to the party. That was
she is
dragged
more,
him to the party.
Yeah, she is more of a people person. Like she doesn't have that much to do. So if there's something going on, like a ball or something, she makes sure that she gets invited.
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to ask for a clarification.
Okay, cool.
Because my idea was that it's at this party that Lady Eloise notices Mr. Callahan maybe and decides to maybe help him out. So that was kind of my idea. I think that maybe they didn't know each other before, and maybe this is where they would meet and establish that patronship. I don't know. Just an idea I wanted to suggest to Carol.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was a very Jonathan response. Okay,
anyway.
Cool. Okay, so Lady Eloise, I suppose you will be arriving next.
Lady Eloise will be arriving with the Lord and Lady Fitzwilliam. That's the family she is staying with, correct?
Yes. So in the
she go ahead. Sorry.
No. So I was going to say, so in the carriage, as you are on your way, Lady Fitzwilliam turns to you and says, "Now, Eloise, you know this is important. You have to behave. You have to be at your utmost best behavior at this ball. This is your introduction into society, essentially. I mean, yes, I'm sure that you had all your foibles in France, but your dear mother is very important to me, and honestly, Eloise, this is your final chance to really make something of yourself, girl. Please, this is going to be a splendid event, and it is happening in your honor. You remember that word, don't you? Honor. Keep it in mind. Yes? Right.
Yes, of course. Of course. Eloise just kind of shrinks down at this and is just like a little bit like she's trying really hard to behave, but she definitely cannot wait to get out of the carriage and go party. Because old habits die hard. And
Plus, it's a ball in
I
your
guess
honor.
if there's a receiving line with the hosts of the party, she will go through the motions, do the curtsy, be polite, and make her presence known as the guest of honor. And
So basically, I think what happens is, like, when you get out of the carriage, you basically rush towards the entrance, and the hostess wants to sort of try and, as she receives you, try and like kind of funnel you into like a quieter room so that you can be properly presented. But I assume that you will just want to say hi to everybody immediately and like kind of, well, so let's see. So so
I think because she has the reputation of both charming and immature, she will definitely try to go to say hi to everyone, but immature in the sense that she doesn't like the protocol side of it and how it's step by step. It has to be proper presentation. She just,
plus,
I think she would attempt to try to say hello to everyone until she is like corralled by someone who knows better.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, you rush ahead of Lord and Lady Fitzwilliam, which is already like wow, and then Lady Fitzwilliam greets you at the door. My dear Eloise.
Wilkinson.
Sorry,
Lady
Wilkinson.
Lady
Wilkinson. You at the door. Yeah, they all blend together after a while. Okay, so Lady Wilkinson greets you at the door and says, "My dear Eloise, you look so lovely today."
Oh, why, thank you. You are, of course, looking very resplendent as usual, and she does a really, elegant curtsy. So Lady Eloise is a golden blonde, slender young British woman, I guess, and she is in a I guess whatever the Regency equivalent is of like floor length, like full ball gown, like whatever is appropriate for the party, but like also extremely extra. So she because she's the guest of honor, and if it's okay with Taylor, I think she actually had it made by Lavinia after she learned about the party, like just kind of on the fly. Oh wait, she doesn't. Hold on.
Yeah,
no wait.
it's a
she
secret,
doesn't know about the job. Sorry, my brain forgot. Sorry,
no, that's fine.
Sorry, I got excited.
No, that's fine.
Good thing I was asking for permission. Let's rewind that to the point where I am describing the super extra ball gown that was clearly custom made for me by Lady Fitzwilliam as a bribe to behave myself at the party. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's an elegant navy blue, ball gown that is just like form-fitting and very flattering on her, but it poofs at the bottom. It's just very extra. It is absolutely very extra.
Okay, so then
and that is, and her hair is like her hair is in a tight tight bun as well, like, very formal.
Very
Sorry.
classy. And something that you have clearly picked up from the French, my dear. So, Lady Wilkinson says, Eloise, I was going to lend you one of my grandmother's neck pieces, but you seem to be wearing a rather lovely one yourself. What is that?
It's just a very modest family heirloom, and it is a blue sapphire pendant that like goes with the dress that she is wearing with her, that she received on her 18th birthday, that her parents allowed her to have. And she has like tiara that kind of matches it a little bit, like a headpiece, not like tiara, but like a headband situation, like something in her hair that matches it.
So you're not wearing the
Yeah.
locket?
No, she's not.
Okay.
She's being very subtle about that. She is.
That's why I brought up the neck piece, but cool. Sorry for making you describe a random neck piece then. Okay, cool. So, well.
Don't apologize. It's cool.
So
We're making it up live.
Lady Eloise enters the party, and sort of while Lady Wilkinson is turning to greet Lord and Lady Fitzwilliam, Lady Eloise kind of slips from her grasp and starts greeting people. I think. Yeah, that seems.
Yeah. No, that tracks. She just kind of does this elegant slip, and kind of as soon as she can, just just disappears from the frame as they're trying to talk.
Legit. So, okay. Would you prefer to do a scene with you and Lavinia as she comes out of, well, as she joins the party, or would you prefer to have Jonathan Callahan walk up and say hello? Jonathan, would you like to come in now, or I mean, we can do. We're going to do both
Yep.
scenes. Just depends on what order. Okay, great.
Yeah, sure.
So as you enter with your sister, I presume, describe what you're wearing and how you approach the hostess, or how you just walk past the hostess and just go straight to Lady Eloise. I don't know. Your stylist.
No, he is definitely adapted enough to society that he will greet the host. So he is rather formal, dressed in like a more formal military uniform, like representable at best, but it's nothing where you will say, oh, it's you could see any kind of wealth or anything. It's not that he is wealthy at all. So yeah, pretty standard for that kind of things. No kinds of if you would look, they wouldn't see any kind of ring or whatever. So giving a brief like conversation with the host of the night, but letting his sister do most of the talking. Cynthia especially dressed up for this evening, like the best dress that she could had to offer, and probably even made her husband like pay more for it than it was necessary. So, but it definitely lets her do most of the talking. since he was kind of just dragged along.
So as you walk up to Lady Wilkinson, and she greets Grace with a great deal of affection, she looks at you and she says, "Mr. Callahan, your sister talks about you constantly, but I must admit she does talk a lot about your childhood together, and I have to confess I don't quite remember what it is you do. What do you do?"
Oh, yeah, well, she definitely talks a lot of the people around her.
Grace, do you want to say anything to that?
I'm sorry. um, um, well, of course, I talk about my favorite brother. Of course, I would talk about you. I have to talk you up. Um, and she kind of laughs uncomfortably, like little chuckles, and she's trying to disguise some discomfort. And she says, "You should really talk up your military accomplishments more. I, for one, am extremely proud of you. And I don't know what military rank Jonathan has achieved, but she's definitely Grace definitely talks him up as this, like having this really amazing career. Because Grace, if anything in public, Grace is Jonathan's like biggest cheerleader. And it may not be the same at home, but she doesn't bring that to the party. Right now she is on Team Jonathan, or at least she's trying to be.
Amazing. So I think Lady Wilkinson would say, "Well, it is always a lovely addition to any summer ball to have a young," and looks at your hand, bachelor joining any ball. Might I introduce you to the main topic of conversation, or if she isn't yet, then certainly will be soon. Come." And then she kind of drags you to Lady Eloise and goes, "Lady Eloise, this is Jonathan. This is Jonathan Callahan, and Lady Grace Callahan."
It is a pleasure. It is a pleasure to meet you both. And Grace will, of course, bow to the lady. And
I think
what happens is Lady Eloise kind of.
Sorry, I was just going to say, so you don't have to play.
You're breaking up.
Just so you don't have to play both, I was going to say that Grace probably bows and goes off to the side to talk to someone else so that she can push her brother to talk to you.
Yeah. And I think what happens next is that there is a warm, kind of welcoming smile on Lady Eloise's face as she offers a hand to shake with Mr. Callahan, and says, "You look like you could use some help navigating this party."
He will definitely take the hand, and it's that of just briefly shaking, because it's probably not appropriated at all. It's like taking it, making this gesture of a kiss on the hand without even touching it that much, then letting it go. I'm I don't have that much of a chance to go to that many balls during the years, if I have to say it like this. It's
Um,
quite lively around here.
Lady Eloise just nods at him and says, uh, lively is an excellent choice of words. Um, no, as someone who is quite experienced in uh, attending events like this, I would be more than happy to, you know, help you navigate. Is there is that um is your sister always so overbearing, maybe pushy? Is she always like that?
Sometimes, yes. She takes care of the people around her. Sometimes a bit too much, but she only has the best
So
intentions, I believe.
if if you require a break from that, I could show you a good time, and maybe you'll actually get to enjoy this ball. And then she looks around, and it's almost like she's scanning the area for people to like introduce to Jonathan that are like, their age, and like move him away from like the older sibling, the older sister, and just like, which one of these people looks like a good time? So that's kind of her plotting right now. The wheels are turning in Lady Eloise's head.
Sure. Okay, so as Lady Eloise is sort of almost leading Jonathan around the room, even though that is most improper. And Lady Wilkinson is trying discreetly to inch closer to you to try and present you to society at large, whereas you're doing the presenting, apparently, at the moment. And in the meantime, what is Lavinia doing? How does she react to this leading around of the Jonathans?
I mean, Lavinia, as soon as I imagine it's like she comes out of the like whatever side room that she's been like fixing herself up. And I think she did like probably like a decent job of, not looking like she had to walk here because she's used to having to do that. And like kind of looks around and is like definitely looking around for Lady Eloise and sees the two of them together, and Lavinia's eyes narrow so much. And like she normally looks pretty cheerful, so I think like her eyes narrow. There's a little forehead wrinkle, slight downturn, nose like kind of scrunched up a little bit. She's trying not to show her emotions directly on her face, but I don't think that's very easy for her. And is going to make a beeline for the two of them, just like not paying attention to anyone else. Like if other people are trying to talk to her or whatever, she's just like right through everyone.
So as you catch up to them, there's this gaggle of young girls that sort of is walking past, and they're clearly having a great time. Like they have been partaking of the drinks. They have been filling up their dance cards, which is going to be interesting because they have been partaking of the drinks. And so they've passed and they have interacted with you just in the village, Eloise. They kind of like, because you're all the same age, they were like, hey, this one looks fun. So you've met kind of before, but you haven't really spent much time together. So they sort of call out to you, Lady Eloise, are you going to join us? We're just going for a turn about the Oh my God, you look so lovely, Eloise. You really should join us. It's been too long since we caught up. And they're sort of like,
Of course, of course.
and then there's going to be another gentleman.
Yeah,
so
and
basically, so a
I
bunch of
think
people are making a beeline for you. So there's like, there's you with Jonathan. There is Miss Lavinia making a beeline towards you. There is Mrs. Lady Wilkinson making a beeline towards you. There's Lady Fitzwilliam making a beeline towards you. and
I
there's
I
yeah,
I would like to
run away.
I would like to spend a resolve token to attempt an escape and like walk straight into Lavinia.
I don't think you need to use a resolve token for that. That's fine. You can just do that.
I would like to attempt to make an escape from Lady Wilkinson and all of the people, and kind of just like
Okay.
I
So
don't even think she gets very far because Jonathan is there as well. She just turns around and Lavinia's right there. She just
so
boom.
are you attempting to drag Jonathan with you, or are you just attempting to escape just you?
Well, I mean, I with consent, if Caro is okay with it, I'm going to try to bring Jonathan along with consent, of course. But if you're not down, you can just say no.
He might be super confused of how many people just want to talk to you and are just going straight for you as if you were a thief or something.
It is chaos, and Lady Eloise just wants to. She just wants she wants to help Jonathan, because there's a part of her that's like, well, if I help him, maybe he'll like enjoy himself. But there's a bigger part of her that's like, maybe if I help him, I'll look good and I won't be a complete disaster and I won't be a disappointment to my mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you're so you do want to spend a resolve token to walk directly into Lavinia?
Yeah, well, I mean, if it requires a resolve token, I'll pay it up. This is great.
Can I also like because I really like all of that. I also think if possible, I think maybe I would give Anne a resolve token to have it be that Lavinia takes this opportunity because there's so many people around to kind of like as they run into each other, Lavinia like links arms with Lady Eloise. So it's like, it could be seen as like we're friends, like because it's like the thing in Pride and Prejudice where they're like, let's take a turn about the room, and they're like
Sure.
arm in arm. So it could be seen as friends, it could be seen as more than friends, but either way, it makes Lavinia look important to be like, oh, we're a part of this group. So I would be willing to give Anne a resolve token to have it be that like we run into each other, but also like I managed to link an arm in there.
So since Anne is already spending a resolve token, you can just accept it with conditions and say, this is what I want to have it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So let's do
I mean, I almost feel like I should be offering a token to Caro to Jonathan because he's the most inconvenienced out of everyone in this whole situation.
No, I'm helping. Just come along. Yeah.
I promise I'm helping.
So,
and then Lavinia shows up and it's not helping. Sorry.
okay. So you turn. You notice the two the two ladies making a beeline for you. You turn, you grab Jonathan's arm, just a no-no still, and then you start dragging him in a direction that's essentially just away from the ladies and run headfirst into Lavinia, who very gracefully basically just turns as if almost dancing and links arms with you to walk in the same direction. Is that correct?
And I think because Lady Eloise is not apprised of the rivalry, she'll just go. At first, she will kind of, in a flirtatious manner, say, "This is not the good time I was expecting to run into this evening. But have you met Mr. Callahan?" And then she just like introduces him because she
Yes,
doesn't know, and it's hilarious.
I'm quite familiar with Mr. Callahan.
Just to clarify, sorry, loving this. Just to clarify, though, you're making this introduction as you're sprinting away, or do you get?
No, I thought. Hold on. I thought Lavinia linked arms to make it look like they're just walking away rather than sprinting. She's trying to escape.
She's trying to make it look like
gracefully.
you didn't just bang into someone before you were presented into society.
Yeah. Nah, well, I mean, she's making it look, well, I mean, she wasn't sprinting, she was power walking, and then she walked into Lavinia. It's not a run.
She was power
It was
walking.
not
you
a
were
run.
sprinting. But the reason I ask is not for the sake of injury. I think you're both fine. I'm asking whether the three of you go into another room or try to escape onto the balcony or something like this, or do you stay in the same room?
Let's go to the balcony.
No.
Yeah.
Gardens.
Sprint to the balcony.
In the okay, hear me out. So in every Good Society game I've ever played, all of the fun things happen in a garden. So my suggestion is we find an opening and run to the doors to go through the gardens. Bonus points if we find a gazebo. We just go. And I don't know if Jonathan is just getting dragged along. Poor guy.
Kinda. At this point, it's like the two gals are locked with each other, like power walk along, and he's just dragged.
Come along, let's go.
It'll be worth it, I promise. Just like
come with me.
It's kind of as if he is a lost puppy.
Come with me if you want to avoid people.
Okay, so you get to.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
What's up?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, it was great. So okay, so you all apparently sprint to the nearest like floor to ceiling windowed, like French window kind of thing, which leads into a little lane, which you know, Eloise, because you have been to this house before when you were like being introduced to the hosts before the ball, which is why they're throwing you the ball. And you make your way into the little path that leads into some hedges and a gazebo, wouldn't you know it? And then you all make your way into the gazebo. And what happens? What conversations? What scandals? What happens? I would just like to point out that you have sped out of a ball in your honor, gone to a gazebo with someone who may or may not be your fling, and rando you just met but are extremely invested in helping out, but have taken away from all the people that you wanted to introduce them to. So that's where we are. And go.
That is exactly where we are, because Lady Eloise does not currently make sense. She may or may not have had drinks. She may or may not have been pre-drinking. Who knows?
Oh no! I think Lavinia, once we've like stopped sprinting and we're out in the gazebo, I imagine there's lots of like laughter between like I don't know about Jonathan because he seems a little more straight-laced, but I imagine Lavinia and Eloise are kind of like giggling, like it's like, oh, we're running away or whatever. And then as soon as we get into the gazebo, I think Lavinia like kind of like sits down on like one of the little benches and is like, Lady Eloise, it's so good to see you. I do think, and I think then the like weight of like, oh, we're supposed to be looking good for society. Like this doesn't really look very good. And is like, we should probably make our way back in though, so that you can be properly introduced.
I think Lady Eloise just like glances at Jonathan and then glances at Lavinia and she says, well, my attempts at helping someone get comfortable with the party were met with rather large, obnoxious groups of people trying to speak to me. So, you know, I suppose for the sake of this gentleman over here who doesn't seem to like crowds very much, maybe taking a few minutes out here in the beautiful what time of day is it, Porna?
It's sort of like it's starting to get dark. Like it's like, yeah, sort of twilight.
Okay.
Lady Eloise.
Why don't sorry, what if we just spend a few minutes in the nice evening air to take a breather?
Yes, but Lady Eloise, I mean, and I think like kind of like Jonathan can still definitely hear this. Like it's not like she's like keeping it a secret, but like kind of directs it more towards Eloise and says, I mean, do you really want to throw away your reputation for the sake of a gentleman you just met? People will be talking if you don't make your appearance.
I suppose so, but he seemed so uncomfortable, and honestly, the problem with balls and other events like these is that it seems to make people so uncomfortable. Did I ever tell you the story about why I got shipped off here in the first place?
I think
I'm
Lavinia's
totally fine
kind
with
of like,
sharing, and she turns to Jonathan and is like, "I'm totally fine with sharing if you want to hear this story. It's actually really funny."
Yeah, at this point, Jonathan was looking around the garden for a bit, having the gals have a talk. He's used to this from his sister, like with her friends. They are just gossiping around.
I would just like to say, so as Jonathan starts looking outward to the garden to see whether he can give them some privacy, or let them talk, whatever. And so he notices someone who looks like a mini Lady Wilkinson, sort of striding towards, well, past the gazebo, and who sort of looks towards, who notices you, Jonathan, and notices that you are a rather dashing young man, and so starts walking towards you, towards the gazebo, or where you disappear back into the gazebo because you're like, oh God, people. So walks towards the gazebo at speed and goes, can it sort of starts to go, can I help you? So, Eloise, what? Aren't you supposed to be inside? Isn't it your ball? Why are you here?
Well, I just wanted to make sure some of the guests were feeling comfortable, and Mr. Callahan wanted to get some fresh air, and I happened to run into Miss Fitzgibbon on the way out, and we were just having a nice conversation. You know, crowds, they can be overwhelming. I just wanted to make the guests feel more comfortable.
Eloise, it is. Mother will be furious. Forget Mother. Your aunt will be furious. You know what she's like when she's mad. You need to get back inside, and I can escort Mr. Callahan. Did you say your name was?
He takes her hand and does basically the same gesture that he did to Eloise before. It's a pleasure
Yes.
to meet you, and basically in a questioning manner for her name.
It's Charlotte.
A very lovely name for a lovely person like you.
Thank you. That's so kind. May I suggest we go back inside? It is improper for a lady such as I to be with such a dashing gentleman in a gazebo like this. People will talk. Come, let us join the ball again. And she sort of sweeps away.
Lady Eloise just has the biggest smile on her face, like she just won the lottery or something. Like she just kind of was like so proud of herself just then. Like that, even though it was a total fluke and it had nothing to do with anything she did, she was just like, oh yeah. And she looks at Lavinia and says, see, I helped.
I think I would like, if possible, to spend a resolve token that Lavinia, during that conversation, left and went back into the ball without anyone noticing. So I don't know who that resolve token would go to.
I would like to immediately retcon. What I just did. Rewind.
Yeah.
Because that is hilarious. I just would I take that resolve token then, I guess?
Yeah, sure. Let's say why not.
Okay, so I'll spend a resolve token to give to Eloise that Lavinia just basically got impatient and was like, I thought I was going to be at this ball and that I was going to be like, there were going to be rumors that I was with this person who the ball was in honor of, but now she's not making her appearance. So Lavinia has like taken on, and now I'm with this guy that I hate. So I think Lavinia, like, when Eloise looks over to say something to her, it's like this cartoon smoke, like shape in Lavinia, like Lavinia's shape, and has left. And immediately went into the ball to scope out.
Eloise is like,
and
when
I
go, see,
and she goes, no, but like, why don't you like him? Tell me quickly before he's So she's like following, but so I'm going to say that unless Eloise, you want to say anything to Lavinia, that I'm going to close the novel chapter.
I would like to clear one of the reputation tags that I put for Lady Eloise. I don't know if you read this in the rules, but you can use your reputation like resolve tokens. So I would like to clear the charming reputation so that she would enter when she returns to the ball. It's like everyone takes notice and they forget that she was missing. It's like, oh, there's the lady of the night of the evening, and they just forget that she was missing for like a few minutes. I would like to clear that reputation token and spend it as a resolve token, if that's okay with you, Porna. I'll just spend it. Offer it to the facilitator to make it go away.
I'll spend it. So that's, so anyway, we would do that in the next bit, which is the reputation phase. So I will say that you did that then, but yes, okay, we can have that happen. So you just want to basically reappear. I'm going to give Jonathan and Lavinia a moment to say if you say anything to anyone quickly or do anything noticeable.
I think Lavinia definitely, during the time that the other conversation was happening after she left, would have been scoping out a new, rich, eligible person to attach herself to. Because I think she's already feeling kind of like insecure about how her relationship with Lady Eloise, and is like, I don't know if this is going to pan out. So not like overly, but just kind of like, trying to see if there's anybody else that she could attach herself to. And there doesn't have to be a person. Like, I feel like we could establish that even in like the epistolary phase or something, but that's her purpose when she goes back into the ball, is to scout out a new significant other.
Okay. Yes, okay. Do you have a particular significant other in mind?
I don't, and we don't even have to establish it like right now, because I know we're trying to like wrap up the novel phase, but I just wanted to get it out there that like that's what she did when she went back in, is look for somebody.
Got it. Jonathan?
He will probably spend like most of that evening with what was her name again? I'm sorry, I'm horrible with names.
Charlotte.
With Charlotte, yeah. I'm also with her. Even if he doesn't has that much of interest in her, but mostly just to please his sister.
Charlotte will be thrilled. Okay.
Totally.
Amazing. Okay, so I will close out the novel section of the first novel phase, and now we enter the reputation phase. So in the reputation phase, all three major characters, you are going to assess your behavior, and we're going to do that collaboratively. Sort of talk about it a little and say, well, so if you think you earned, or if we all think the characters earned reputation tags with this, with what just happened, and so we're going to make note of those. And so in terms of, well, yeah, let's do that first. So what do you think has happened to your reputations? Let's start actually with Jonathan. I would be interested to know what does everybody think happened to Jonathan's reputation?
I guess I have a question first with our setting, because we have gender roles. Basically, we're playing with gender roles turned off. So does it matter that Jonathan was like unaccompanied with like young women or not? Because I think if it doesn't matter, like if we're not really playing with that, then I don't think that would have really affected Jonathan's reputation.
So I don't think it's so much that Jonathan is mask presenting or anything like this. I think it's more that there were 3 unmarried eligible people hanging out outside.
That's true. That's true.
So,
But then isn't that just like a little side, like a conversation
I mean,
in a
no.
gazebo? Yeah.
Because
So I,
without a chaperone, that too, sprinting
That's
off like
true.
animals from the play. I'm not sure that is in any version of the Regency period, whatever gender roles were
Did I
following.
did I mention that Lady Eloise has sure as a reputation label? So I mean that kind of tracks with her.
Yes, but she is also she's also a young lady being presented to society today. So yeah,
A young lady who made bad decisions.
consider.
I think I feel like for Jonathan, are we doing it that you can have a positive and negative in the same? Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like Jonathan would deserve a negative one for that, but also a positive one for not being just like a wallflower like loner. Like it's like Jonathan is at a party and he's like talking to people, which is good. He was off unchaperoned though, which is bad. I feel like that's what I would think.
I mean, he tried his best.
He got pushed into the deep end.
These are all good points. I would like to just say that also give you all a moment to look at your family backgrounds, because that also might give you a refresher on what your reputations might have been to start with, and therefore what goes against your reputation.
Sorry, I just need to double check the. Let's see. Nope, definitely didn't do that. Definitely didn't do that. Definitely didn't do that. Okay, well, no positive tags. Let's see. Yep,
Yeah.
definitely did that. Definitely did that. Definitely did that. Okay.
I definitely only did negative things as well.
Also, so for reputation tags, you can trade your positive reputation tag for a resolve token in this phase, if you have one. If you have negative reputation tags, you or any other player can trade the negative reputation tag for a resolve token to bring your reputation into the story that like isn't in a way that's harmful. So other people, other characters cannot use your positive tags, but everybody can use everybody else's negative tags. And when I say use them, you would exchange them for resolve tokens. So at the moment, for instance, Jonathan still has 2 resolve tokens. Lavinia has 1 resolve token. Lady Eloise has spent them as is her wont. So Lady Eloise ain't got no resolve tokens right now. Which
she
is
does
great.
have her declining reputation, though.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. So, have you had a chance to look at your family backgrounds and decide, based on that, what reputation tags you might have? So reputation tags can be anything. They can be positive traits, negative traits. It would just be an adjective, right? So it could be like Anne said about her character. It could be mature. It could be spendthrift, depending on who you are. It could be new money, if depending on who you are. It could be, yeah. So it could be anything. But remember that the next phase is rumors and scandals. So if it's something that's not an adjective, that is more comprehensive, that you don't really know how to put into words, in the next phase, not as characters, but as society at large, we are going to be either creating or spreading some rumors. And each person gets 2 rumors.
I got it. I got the reputation tag for Lady Eloise.
Amazing.
I
So,
have impulsive.
would you say that is a negative or a positive trait?
Oh, it's definitely negative.
Okay. Okay. So, just to remind you all as well that when you get reputation tags, once you have 3 tags in either direction, that will trigger a reputation condition, which will feature in the story, basically more prominently. Okay, so I get why you said you were impulsive. So let's go around then. So Lavinia, do you have any tags for yourself or others?
Yes, I do have a tag for myself. So for humble origins, the reputation criteria that you get a negative tag is if you presumed to order, instruct, or make a demand of someone of a higher rank, which Lavinia definitely did by trying to convince Lady Eloise to go back into the party. So definitely not good, as well as, running off in the first place. And also arriving so early at the party, I think, is also definitely negative.
So improper.
Yeah, so I went ahead and gave myself the negative reputation tag of presumptuous, because I feel like that kind of ties both of those 2 things together, like coming early to the party and trying to tell Lady Eloise what to do are both very presumptuous.
I would say the first is a lack of propriety, whereas the second is a presumption above your station. So I'm going to say those are 2 separate tags, also because it makes it more fun if you're closer to 3 tags for me.
Okay,
cool.
Yeah, I'll take 2 tags, or 2 tags.
Do you have any suggestions for tags for Lady Eloise or Jonathan?
I think impulsive for Lady Eloise sounds good. For Jonathan, I don't know how this would be worded the right way, but basically something getting at Jonathan being alone with so many people that it would be like, the only word I can think of is like a player, but that doesn't fit the mood. That's not like exactly what I'm thinking of, but I don't know what word would get that across.
I think that would probably, I mean, that's fair though. Like, he has entered the scene. Nobody knows much about him aside from his sister, aside from the fact that he's a military man. And all that they know really is that he has entered, immediately lashed himself onto the guest of honor, and been dragged outside with 2 young unmarried women.
Yeah.
And
returned with a
different woman.
Maybe something like overly friendly or something like that. I don't know if that gets across.
I'm very amused with the idea of Jonathan being labeled as overly friendly.
Yeah, overly friendly.
Society doesn't know. Society like perceives that behavior from him as overly friendly because he's around all of these eligible young people. So
sure. Do any of you think that any of you deserve any positive tags? And I mean that with all the love in the world.
Absolutely not. I mean this with all the love in the world for my character. Absolutely not.
Anybody else?
I think Jonathan deserves a positive tag.
Yeah, I've looked onto the criteria and actually says, and for the positive tag, acted in obedience to society's conventions despite considerable hardship on doing so. So actually already going to the damn ball.
So much hardship, though.
That's so true.
It was already something where it's like, so yeah, you need to, because like, yeah, you need to act representable, and like you cannot just be on your own. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. I think you deserve praise for that.
Lady
I feel like Lady Eloise deserves a positive
Me too.
tag for what do you think she deserves a positive tag for?
She's a disaster. Don't give her one.
I was going to say I think she deserves a positive thing for like essentially taking someone who she barely knows under her wing to introduce them to more people, to make them feel welcome when she is relatively new herself. I think that shows kindness.
I mean, if you have to. Like, I think she just felt bad for him, like maybe compassionate.
Yeah.
Like, you're in a new situation, I'm in a new situation. Let me help you.
Yeah. And I think actually, and also on the other side, so I would say that Eloise is compassionate, but I would also say that you might get the reputation because of the two matronly women who were making a beeline for you, who you sprinted away from, as an ingrate, as ungrateful.
Okay.
Because that's how aunties think.
Does that... Okay, so do you then want to give me an extra tag? Because it's normally one of each per round. Do you want to give me an extra negative tag?
No, I would say that I would say that like that because I would say that being impulsive or immature is probably something that either you already had or is not really like a reputation tag that you're adding now. Right? So I think
that's fair. I'll change. Change. Okay, got it. Let me change that. I'll adjust it. There you go.
Okay, so now we are going to go into the rumors and scandals phase. So each of us, and I mean, I'll add some if y'all aren't being juicy enough, but each of us gets to add 2 rumors, or well, since no rumors currently exist, we're all going to create 2 rumors, or can create up to 2 rumors, but it's just fun. So in this capacity, as I said, you are acting more as society at large rather than your characters. So it is something that if society were to think this, needn't be true. It's just something that should be plausible. And this is a rumor that might not be directly related to you, but affects your characters or enough, either one character or multiple characters, enough that it would affect the story. So think about your desires and your so you have already considered your reputations. Think about your desires, and thinking about the 2 of them together, consider what might harm one or both of those things, or be good for them. That's also cool, I guess.
Just because I do want it to... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just trying to figure something out. Go ahead, Taylor.
Just because I do want it to come up during the game, I'll make a rumor that is over the spring, Lavinia has been seen coming and going from a certain dress shop at a rate that seems to indicate that she has a job at the dress shop, which is entirely improper for for a woman of any means. So I'll add that rumor.
There is a rumor that the Duchess of Normandy is set to visit and check in on her daughter's behavior. Oh.
Jonathan?
Okay, let's go with the player trope. There is a rumor that he was seen with several different people over the course of the last year.
Ooh. Jonathan is a player. Who knew?
Maybe, maybe not.
in the past year. Can you like give us some examples of the kind of like rumors that are flying around? It doesn't just need to be you. Like all of us can come up with examples of like, I heard that he was seen at bloody blah with bloody blah. Just like because the past year is a long time.
It's a long time. It's probably that he was invited over to someone's house,
Estate.
which is like a few kilometers away. So you will need a day travel at least. Stuff like this, or like that there was some unknown person going to their house, like to the family's house. So no one knew that person. So there was also no explanation who that was given at any point. So definitely there must be something.
Jonathan is like, no, I refuse to have a ball or anything ridiculous like that in my house. It's fine. People can just visit without us making a whole thing of it. It's okay. And then, like people were like, ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then I think also at some point during the year, probably in the winter, so Jonathan was back from whatever this leisurely military service seems to be, where he's back all the time, and there was at some point he went into London and was going into the city quite a lot, but with no real explanation as to why.
Definitely.
And could have been a woman, given his reputation. You don't know. So that's what I hear. You know. That's definitely what I hear. Okay, so that is one rumor each. Now I think it would be interesting if you made a rumor about another person's character. So, whoever has an idea first.
I do have one. And I know in the game it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be your character spreading it. In this situation, I do think it's specifically Lavinia is telling people this. That because it's this thing of like, oh, Jonathan, like the military service, we don't know what rank he is, we don't know why he's always coming and going. Lavinia is going to spread the rumor that Jonathan is not in the military. that he's pretending that it's someone else's uniform, and that explains why it's like why no one knows that much about it.
Wow, that is a fantastic rumor and so mean. I love it.
Really mean.
Wow.
I love it. Okay, that is, oh my God. I feel like rewarding you with something for that, but I don't know what to do. So I'm just going to say, well done, Taylor. Um, okay, anybody else have an idea for, okay, so Jonathan has 2 rumors now about them. So we need a rumor about Lavinia and a rumor about Eloise.
I can't think of one for Lavinia. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, I think I have one. Miss Fitzgibbon was seen walking out of the party with an eligible young bachelor after the ball.
What? What bachelor was this?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Whoever she had to talk to at the
Miss
end of the
Lavinia?
party. I don't know.
Miss Lavinia, do you have any suggestions as to who this eligible bachelor might be?
It doesn't even have to be a bachelor. It could just be a person. Eligible
Oh, it's
person, I'm going
me.
to say.
For some reason, I thought it was Charlotte.
It's a rumor about you.
Okay, the 2 different Fitz names. I thought it was Fitzwilliam. It's me. It's Fitzgibbon.
No.
Yeah, I was like, why are you asking me? Yeah, I think an eligible someone. I think it's maybe a. Do the people who live at, like, are there any eligible bachelors who would be the people at Featherfield Hall?
Sure, yeah, why not? Lady Wilkinson and Lord and Lady Wilkinson have 2 sons. One who is in the military and one who is vicar.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that maybe the rumor is that Lavinia was seen leaving with one of the sons, but it's unclear which. Like, maybe people just saw like the back of someone's head or something like that, or they have enough of a similarity that it's like, oh, they're brothers, they like look relatively alike. And so she was seen with one of them, but we don't know whether it's the military brother or the vicar. It's
Taylor, you should get a job writing gossip poems.
the scandal.
No. Oh my God. Okay. Now we need a rumor about Eloise. If you can't think of something,
I have something. Okay,
I
there is a
love it.
rumor.
I love it. Yeah.
There's a rumor that Eloise was already promised to someone, and that this person will arrive together with her mother.
Oh, that's brilliant! So good. Oh shit.
Can we just make that actually happen and not be just a rumor? Because that's actually good.
You have the opportunity to write 2 letters in the next phase. You could write to your mom and say, "Find someone. Tell them they're betrothed to me."
No, I just mean I thought it would be funny for her mom to surprise her with that. Just for more chaos.
Cool. Sure. We can make that happen. Okay, cool. So now what we're going to do is you all can think of up to 2 people. It's fine if there's just one who you would write a letter to. They can be somebody you've already mentioned. They can be somebody you never have to mention again. Whatever. You're essentially using this to explain something about what happens in the next month or so, because it will take time for Lady Camille to arrive. It will take time for rumors to spread and have consequences. So if the rumors have had any consequences, if you have heard the rumors about yourself and are appalled or thrilled, depending on your personality, you can express yourselves in those letters. So I will give you a few minutes, and you can decide if you just want to speak these letters into existence, or whether you would like to take a break now and then come back to the letters. I leave it up to you.
I do have ideas for letters, but also if people want to take a break, I'm fine with that as well. Either one's fine with me.
So I'm just gonna say, to give people a second. Yeah. So to give people a second to think as well, what I'm gonna do is just read out the reputation tags and the rumors that we have, and then we can, then we can decide whether people have been inspired to write some letters. So we have, for Eloise, we have a positive reputation tag that is that she is compassionate. And the negative tags are that she has appeared ungrateful to people who are hosting her. And for Lavinia, you have the fact that you have been improper by arriving early at a party, ridiculous behavior, and you have been presumptuous. And that seems not proper for a young lady of any Regency drama. It's literally all they talk about. For Jonathan, you have given yourself points for showing up at all. So that's a positive tag. Positive tag. Decided to participate in wider society. Yay me, positive tag. And negative tag was overly friendly with young unmarried women. Which let's just call player, because that's long to say. For the rumors that have flown about since the ball, so the rumors about Lavinia, so scandalous. Rumor has it she has a job. She's been seen going in and out of a certain dress shop, and not multiple dress shops, mind you, one. And she has just been traipsing in and out at hours that no one would call respectable. It must be for some sort of employment, if you can imagine such a thing. She also, post-ball, or during the ball, because enough people saw for it to be a rumor, or said they saw, walked out of the party with someone who was tall, had dark hair, broad shoulders, and in fact, several people who were attending the ball could have sworn that the gentleman in question was one of the sons of the hosts, Lord and Lady Wilkinson. Lavinia has neither confirmed nor denied these rumors, but that doesn't seem to matter much to anybody. Jonathan has a couple of rumors flying around about him as well. He has been seen with several people in the past year, young, eligible, unmarried women, maybe men, young, unmarried people. They throng to Jonathan like flies to honey. Nobody understands why, because this is the first time he stepped into society, but here we are. Quite the player, this man. I'm as surprised as you are. The other rumor is far more nasty. The fact that Jonathan is not in the military at all. And I don't know how this rumor got about. Maybe it is because he's always home. Or sometimes when he's not at home, he doesn't seem to be going off and fighting any battles. So it's not clear what it is he's doing. Anyone, really. And he's not exactly the kind to wax eloquent about his job, so who knows when this rumor will disappear? Eloise. There is a rumor that her mother, the Duchess of Normandy, is going to make herself welcome in the Fitzwilliams home as well, along with her daughter, having lost complete faith in the idea that Eloise can behave herself after the ball at which she was meant to be introduced to society had some reports of her sprinting away with several single people out of an open window. Admittedly, later she managed to forestall this scandal and become very pleasant and very close friends with a lot of the young people. She was charming, she was personable, but nonetheless, she was seen leaving, at least by those who were keeping an eye on her. So the Duchess of Normandy is rumored to be coming any moment now. She is also rumored to already be betrothed, if you can believe such a thing, before even being presented to polite society. What kind of a person is this Duchess of Normandy, and what kind of a person is her daughter? Rumor has it that this person, who she is betrothed to, is going to come over from France with her mother. From Calais, they're going to take the ship, and they're going to be here in less than a week. That's a rumor. We shall see what happens. And now we can take a break if you would like, or if people are ready with their letters after that long recap. What would you like?
A break, please.
Cool. So we're going to take a 10-minute break, and that can start now. Hi, and welcome back. We are playing Good Society, the TTRPG by Story Brewers. I'm your facilitator, Purna, and with me we have Taylor. Wave. Hi, Taylor. Anne. Wave. Hi, Anne. Even though it's super late. Say hi. Caro, say hi. There you go. Now you remember their actual names. Please remember their actual names. They are not these scandalous people, or at least if they are, I don't know about it in real life. But let us return to our story. So the next phase in this game is an epistolary phase, which, aside from being my absolute favorite kind of book, is also a lovely way of explaining what has happened, a little bit of exposition with some letters that our characters have exchanged with people they feel very strongly about one way or the other. So, does anybody want to start with their first letter? I think, Taylor, you said you had ideas before the break, right?
I do have an idea, but I don't have to go first.
So I would say you can do one of your letters first, and then Eloise, since you are also putting your hand up, and then Jonathan, and then we'll go back around.
Okay. So I think the first letter will be, since I am playing the Duchess of Normandy as a secondary character, I think the first letter is going to be from her, actually, to Lady Eloise. And the letter is very curt, informs Eloise that the Duchess will be visiting and staying with the Fitzwilliams, and also informs Lady Eloise that she will have in tow someone that she believes to be a suitable match for Lady Eloise, who is a very dull, I'm imagining like a Mr. Collins type character. Who Lady Eloise would already know, I think, although has not probably had any kind of romantic interactions or intentions with. But just a very dull, probably member of the clergy that she will be bringing, as she has been having many conversations with him and believes him to be a suitable match for Lady Eloise.
Would you like to say the letter?
No.
Okay.
If that's okay.
That's
I think I'll
fair.
just say what it
So-
contains.
That's fair. So I would just like to say that in the letter, I feel like the Duchess would have probably have written in a mixture of English and French,
Mhm.
and would have used very flowery and lyrical language, but would probably have ended up conveying that there will be consequences for your behavior, Missy. And yes, and we'll have talked about how
They are the French parts. All of the French parts are just her scolding Eloise,
Yeah.
and the English parts are all like super flowery and nice.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that is a letter from the Duchess to her daughter, Lady Eloise. Who are you writing to?
I would like to write a letter as Lady Eloise to Miss Lavinia. And it will read, my dearest Lavinia, I want to start off this letter by asking for your forgiveness. I owe you an apology for how hectic things became at the ball. What started off as a kind gesture quickly became out of hand. But if you will allow it, I would like to make it up to you. Perhaps an introduction to my mother when she visits. I think it is time for her to know where I stand. With love and affection, Eloise. P.S. Please save me from the awful, boring clergyman. And she sends this. And then she sends this letter.
Amazing. So this was Eloise's letter to Lavinia. Do you think they've seen each other over the summer since the ball?
It depends how mad Lavinia is at Eloise after the ball. Because she definitely would have written this letter. I think she would have written this letter like right away.
I think then probably they would have seen each other, maybe not one-on-one, but like at other events or something like that. Because I don't think Lavinia's like mad at Eloise. I think Lavinia is just trying to be shrewd. And like, if Eloise has cooled on me, if that was a summer fling, I need to make sure that I have my affairs lined up. Like, I can't have all my eggs in one
Literally.
basket. Yeah. Right, literally, yeah. So I don't think Lavinia would be avoiding Lady Eloise or be like angry with her. So if she sent it pretty soon after the events, then the ball pretty soon after the ball, then probably they would have seen each other.
Okay. And Carol / Jonathan.
Yeah.
Would you like
Jonathan will write actually to his sister, since he probably catched a bit of the rumors, like especially about like how a lot of like unmarried females were just around during the ball. So
Yeah.
you will write, my dear sister, I am very thankful that you took your time to take me to this ball. However, I heard some bad rumors going around since then, and I hope you're not like one of these sheep just gathering around and exchanging them. Because you know that I'm not one of these men. Or at least I hope so. I'm not like our brother who took his time to find the right person for him, and especially a lot of people. So I hope this will not in any ill manner or an ill situation between us. And before I need to depart after this summer, that we probably can meet again.
Okay. Wow. That was a good letter. Okay. So, would you like to respond as Grace Callahan, or would you like to write another letter entirely?
I think
Would you
there would only be a
would you
second.
like a letter? I could write one.
Sure.
Depends if you're planning to write back to your mother, or if you want to write to Jonathan, who is your brother.
Oh yeah.
Or yeah, I mean, you can think about it a second. So I know that Jonathan has another letter that he wanted to already in mind that he wanted to write. So either Jonathan can go again while you think about it, Grace/Eloise, or Taylor, if you know as well who you want to write to and what you want to say. Would like if in the turn order you would be next.
I'm happy if Kara already knows what they want to write. I'm happy to let them go and do their next letter.
Okay, so the next letter is a response to a letter that he got since he is friends with one of the sons of the Wilkinson household, the one who was also in the military. So and he catched on, like, he got the news from him of like, so hey, I heard rumors that you're not in the military anymore, and like that sounds off. So, and Jonathan will reply very briefly with like, my dearest friend, this is also very bad news to me. I didn't expect that such ill rumors are spreading around about me. However, I can assure you that I'm still part of the military, that I still do my services, and that we still probably see again after the summer. I'm not sure if we will meet up in London again or not, depending on where we are get sent to. But I will make sure that I'm there. After all, as part of the Royal Engineers, I still need to fulfill my services. I think that people might come to the idea that I'm not in service anymore is because I had been quite often at home during the last year, but also people forget that my mother was very ill during that time. you know how talkative the town can be. I wish you all the best.
Letter delivered that matches your personality. Thank you, Caro, who is done with their letters. Taylor.
I think that the next letter, if we're deciding that Eloise and Lavinia have like seen each other, so this isn't like, I'm not gonna write a letter back to Eloise, but it's not like a snub. It's just like, oh, we've like seen each other, you know, that kind of thing. So I think instead Lavinia is writing a letter to another friend, like maybe someone who's like in London or something like that right now, someone who's out of town. And this one I will, you know, say more directly what, instead of just like narrating, I'll do it in character. So Lavinia says, "Dearest Emily, I found myself this season in quite a considerable situation that I wasn't anticipating that I would be in, and so I would most urgently request your advice in this matter. As you know, I had affixed myself to the Lady Eloise Durant because we had had such a wonderful time last summer. However, at Lady Durant's ball coming out into society, I had anticipated that we would be seen together, that we would dance together, but Lady Eloise unfortunately seems to have other plans in her mind, including some with the odious Mr. Jonathan Callahan. I endeavored to make myself a more suitable alliance with some of the other attendees at the ball, and found myself in conversation not only with Lord with the older Lord Wilkinson, but also the younger Lord Wilkinson, referring to the brothers, not father and son, just to clarify. And that brings me to what I would like to request your advice about. As you well know, both Wilkinson brothers are well appointed, one of them being in the military and one of them being a member of the clergy. As a woman more knowledgeable than I, dear Emily, I'd hoped you might be able to give me some advice as to which of these two career paths are more likely to provide someone with a handsome living. I eagerly await your response, as it will inform my future moves for the rest of the season. Love, Lavinia Fitzgibbon."
Beautiful. Beautiful letter. I loved it. And also I like that you gave Netflix a new thing to a new series. Emily in London.
Emily in London. Yeah, she left Paris. She's in London now.
Yeah. Who needs Paris? Yeah, okay, great. So, Eloise, do you have a letter that you want? Have you decided what letter you want to write?
I think yeah, I'm kind of struggling because there are two letters I want to write that I think I will write
If you want to write
as
two letters, please go ahead.
well. I think I will write this one for sure. As Grace, that says it's a very loving, friendly note that says, "Dearest brother, of course you know that I would never believe the rumors as they are. People in the town clearly enjoy talking. And I both know what is true and real, and have done your best by our mother as a dutiful son. But I think at this point, both she and I would much rather see you find happiness. It is the only reason I have ever dragged you to any of those social events. The world is far bigger than just our family. Maybe you should take some time to see what's out there. Mother sends her regards. Sorry. Love, Grace.
Beautifully done. Do you have another? You said you had another letter you wanted to write, or do you want to wait for that?
I just thought it would be funny
Sure.
for Eloise to write to her aunt, her mother's twin sister, to complain about her mother.
Please
And
do.
it is a letter that is essentially like a written rant. And she says, "Dear Aunt Beatrice, comment ça va? How are you doing? Can you believe my mother? She's bringing the stuffy old clergyman. And you used to tell me stories about how much fun she used to be. When did she get so and then there's a bit of the letter scribbled out like she wrote something and then changed her mind. She says, this probably isn't going to get to you on time, but I really wish you'd stop her. Please help me. Please help me. I just want to go home. I'm very homesick." But also, do you think she'd be mad if I introduced her to my um um what is the Regency equivalent of girlfriend? Is
Paramore?
there like a paramour? Do you think she'd be mad if I introduced her to my paramour? I don't know how quickly this will get to you. Would love some advice. Probably not going to happen on time, but I love you anyway. Your favorite, and then in brackets, and only niece, Eloise.
Lovely. Okay. So
Sorry.
that was beautiful. What a nice round of letters. Maybe I'm biased because I love epistolary novels, but that's really lovely. So now we are going to go into the next novel phase, which is going to be a visitation phase. So we will be doing a bunch of scenes. They don't have to involve all the characters. They can involve different combinations. You can all be in the scene, but it's not necessary to find a way to bring you all together. You can also, so since this is going to be a way for us to continue the telling of your story, we can in fact decide which scenes we want to play out first. So for instance, we know that one scene is going to be that Eloise's mother is going to appear on the scene with the clergyman who I'm calling Luca. So Luca is going to appear on the scene. Luca Fachon is going to appear on the scene. He is going to be incredibly dull, but he is going to be there, which is apparently all that's important to some mothers. And they're going to arrive in the last week of summer, and they are going to arrive with great pomp and circumstance. But so we know that that scene is going to happen. would you all like for that scene to happen first and then your other scenes to happen either as a result or as an add-on to those? Or do any of you have a scene that you would like to happen before that?
Uh, I don't really know. Taylor, how are you feeling?
I feel like the scene with the mother will establish so much else of what might happen. So it feels like we could start with that one, but
Okay.
if other people have like other ideas, I'm happy to go with, go with whatever. I don't have any other ideas for scenes right now.
No, you can definitely go with this. Yeah.
So, for instance, would Lavinia be spending time with Eloise at the end of the summer? Would she like to be there when the mother arrives so that she can appear welcoming and things like that? Or would she be more likely to wait and give the mother some time to catch her breath before she comes over?
I think Lavinia would want to be there the when the Duchess arrives, if Eloise has invited her to be there, because like especially if Eloise specifically was like, I want you to meet my mom, Lavinia would want to be there for that. So yeah, I think she would be there.
So I want to clarify, when Eloise says, I want you to meet my mom, she has written to her aunt to say, should I let her meet my mom? So I will leave it up to Eloise whether you do actually, even though you have implied it in letters, whether you actually tell her, my mother is arriving on this day
I
and this time, please come.
I think the order of the letters is she wrote to her aunt first and then decided that she was going to tell Lavinia, like, okay, fine, you know what, come meet my mother, screw it, because she was pretty sure that her letter wasn't going to get there on time and she wouldn't get a response back on time, so she was just kind of like, oh, screw it. Mom's meeting my girlfriend, let's go.
Love
That's
it.
it.
Love it. What exceptional Regency era drama. That's definitely something we see in all Jane Austen novels. Amazing. Okay, so Duchesse of Normandy, Lady Camille Durand, arrives at the Fitzwilliam's house, and she says she arrives with this Lucas Farchon, and she enters and she drops her bags, which she had basically just taken from the porter to make a statement anyway, because why would she be carrying her own bags? She drops them on the floor and she says, daughter, come here. Kiss your mama.
Bonjour, maman, and she greets her just, and trying to be super proper, and
she takes your face in her hands. She goes, chérie, are you eating all this fatty English food here? Is this what is happening? Your cheeks look so red and lovely. We do not have this in Paris. I don't believe you ate
I
properly at all. And here you must be happy then. Are you happy here, my child?
Emma, I don't think I've ever been happier. I do want to say, existing under the pressures of the peerage at home has not done well for my health. But I am happy here.
But Sherry, what is wrong with home? Home is Well, it is where your family is. You have some family here, but you have family back home. Is that not what home means? Where you are welcomed, where you are loved. Surely that is the
Uh,
best place for a young person who is impressionnable. No?
well, it's a place where I am expected to be someone I am not. I don't know what happened to you, Mama, but Aunt Beatrice said once used to be like me.
Beatrice says many strange things since she started to take the vapors, but I think that you should talk to me about me, ma chérie. What is okay? You know what? I am very tired, and I'm going to take some rest. I'm so tired. I'm using words like okay, even though I'm in a Regency drama. And I'm going to take myself to bed, and we will talk about this more, Shelley. I'm here for you. I'm here to make sure that you are happy. That is all a mother wants. And Luca here will help with that. I am sure. Luca, and then Luca appears, goes, and like he bends and like bows in front of you and takes your hand and kisses your hand, and then basically mutters a bunch of like compliments in French about how lovely you look and how incredibly difficult it has been over the summer, not having seen you around the park, around the theaters, around the bars in France, in Paris. He hesitates a bit when he says bars because your mother is there, but he says it. He's overcome upon having seen you at the end of the summer. He does not know that he bores you. So he is quite surprised that you do not seem absolutely thrilled to see him. Your mother can tell that you're not enamored with the man, but it's not her primary concern. So she's sort of ignoring that part, and she sort of sweeps off and to sort of rest, because so she has, before she came across you, she saw Lord and Lady Fitzwilliam, greeted them already, and so having met you, having met the hosts, she doesn't actually notice. She assumes anybody else who is around is unimportant, so she just sort of sweeps away, right past you, Taylor, right past you, Lavinia, and sort of makes her way to the room. Do either of you stop her? Okay, so she sweeps off to the room. She takes some rest. Luca is still in the room. So Luca is going to stand awkwardly near you because the chaperone has left, and also because there is clearly another person in the room who wants to talk to you, and he is noticed, even though your mother did not. So now at the moment there is Luca, there is Lavinia, there is, I assume, a butler, and you. So what does Eloise do? What does Taylor? What does Lavinia do?
Eloise has this look on her face earlier that was like a forced smile, and then it turns into a calculating like look that Lavinia knows what it is. It's she's trying to find an exit. She's planning an exit strategy face.
I grab
this girl and her exits.
I grab Eloise's arm so quickly because I'm like, she's gonna bolt and my reputation can't take another hit. I can't be here for another time that we run away. So it just kind of again like links arms with Eloise, and says, well, that was it was lovely to meet the Duchess, and it's just kind of like looking around, waiting to be introduced to Luca because like she doesn't know him.
Eloise introduces him and says, this was never about me or my happiness. She is here to do damage control, and she brought Luca. No offense, but also you are my mother is very transparent in what she's doing, and I am so sorry that you're being caught in this mess. I'm sure that you'll make a nice
match.
You will make a better match for someone else than you would for me. And Eloise is starting to struggle to find her words, and
I would spend a resolve token on Eloise and having her mother walk in back because she forgot something, and that scene.
I'll take it.
Do you have any conditions?
I will say that my condition is that she walks in right after or she walks in as she says, like, I'm sure you'd make a perfect match for someone else. That's where I want Mom to walk in.
I would also like to say that if you all are okay with it, what I would like to happen at the same, or perhaps a beat, because she's walked in, she's heard this, and she's standing there flabbergasted, and Luca doesn't look like he remembers what words are either. And like 2 beats later, I'm going to say, Jonathan, I think you and your military friend Wilkinson would have gone to visit with Miss Lavinia, but not having found her where she was supposed to be, you were told that you might check here, and so you made your way here to visit with both young women, some of whom you find more pleasant than others. So your friend, as far as you know, your friend and support in this community, Eloise, is who you're coming here to see, and probably going to ignore Lavinia. Your friend, I'm going to say Charles Wilkinson, who is in the same company in the army as you, and therefore was very surprised to learn that you had just left the military. So having established that you haven't, has decided to spend more time with you over the summer just to ensure that you don't get strange ideas about leaving the military, and has decided that given you are, that he should not really be visiting a young woman on his own, and he needs someone to visit with. You are preferable to his brother, who might also try and get in her good graces. So here you are. You have, if you all are okay with it, you both are going to arrive on the scene as well. Everybody cool with that?
Yep.
Anne?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
Okay, cool. So the bell rings. Messieurs Jonathan and Charles are shown in by a very bemused butler who is like, this is just what is happening today, but with his amazing training is remaining poker faced. So, so at this point, what has happened is basically from the adjoining room, the Duchess is standing there, looking angrier and angrier as the seconds pass. Luca is looking like, well, why did I just travel for a month with this woman then to come here to England, where the food is what it is, and to be rejected in this fashion? I mean, so he's looking bemused as to how his life has taken a sudden turn, especially since he really did not know. And I'm assuming that when you were living in France, you were less forthright because you were under the watchful eye of your mother. So you have suddenly expressed yourself in a much more forthright manner than he is used to from you. So he's kind of lost for words. I will let you and Taylor explain whatever you're feeling and the expressions on your faces. And I will let Jonathan explain how he feels when he sees this assemblage. Charles Wilkinson comes in, makes a beeline for you, Lavinia, nods, of course, to Eloise, properly bows to you, takes your hand and kisses it, and he then notices the Duchess, and basically everybody is frozen in place. So we're going to go turnwise and explain what it is you're feeling and what you might want to do, starting with Jonathan, who might be the easiest to work with.
Yeah, noticing the scene upon arriving and seeing like, okay, there's a lot of surprised faces and some are not looking happy. Then his friend is basically ignoring the whole thing, what's going on, and just going out there. He has absolutely no time to just keep him back there. And he feels very uncomfortable right now. And trying to resolve all the bad vibes that are going around here. A brief greeting everyone in a proper manner, and then going like, my friend Mr. Wilkinson and we just passed by because we thought you might be interested in a nice walk in this wonderful summer day.
So, and you're addressing this to Eloise or to Lavinia?
In this case, right now, to basically everyone in this room. Because it's like, okay, yes, we need to call down, split up.
So now, first of all, you don't like Lavinia.
Yeah, no. The thing was that Lavinia has something against me, but I'm on the side of like, I have no clue who this person actually really is. We have never really talked to each other.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, cool. So that's one thing. So since you are the one suggesting it, I'm going to let Taylor take a second to think about how Lavinia would respond. In the meantime, Luca is going to turn to you, random stranger, Jonathan, who has just entered and has introduced himself, holds out a hand to introduce himself and says, Enchanté, Luca Farchon. Who are you, my good man?
Greetings. My name is Jonathan Callahan. I'm friends with Lady Eloise.
And at that, Luca turns to Eloise, turns back to Jonathan, goes, I see. How long would you say you have been friends?
We met.
How long has it been since that first ball?
It's probably a few
month.
weeks.
A
Yeah.
month.
A
Yeah.
month?
We met like a month ago at a ball not far from here.
I see. Eloise, I recognize that this does not come as a huge surprise to you, as we are both French in blood, but I must protest. How can you come to England and just give your heart to another? This man, then like points at Jonathan in a most improper way. This man, who does not look like he has much money. Do you? Looks back at Jonathan.
That is
Excuse
not
me.
an appropriate question to ask someone you just met.
Excuse moi. If there's anyone who is saying inappropriate things today, it is not me who is the problem. And then he sort of like looks at Jonathan, like sizes him up, goes, and how is it that you are going to provide for her?
Excuse me. There was never the thought nor to talk about this. I assure you there is nothing between your Lady Eloise and me besides that
Friendship.
That friendship.
Oh, I know all
Extending
about
a
this
hand.
friendship.
Extending a hand in kindness may not be appropriate in traditional society, but I have come here to reject societal expectations at home.
This is
They
preposterous.
believe to have sent me away to teach me a lesson. I just learned a different one than they wanted me to.
Luca looks at you appalled, turns on his heel and walks out. Charles is still frozen next to Lavinia. And please continue.
No, Eloise just says, bye, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Luca is like, she's saying something, I'm sure, but it sounds like one of those silly English phrases I don't understand. And and just like, yeah, just kind of like goes off to probably like go to the pub or to just take a walk and calm down and figure out his next steps. Or whatever. He's just stormed off. You don't know. And okay, so Charles, not sure what to do. Jonathan, Lavinia, and Eloise, you are at liberty to do whatever you like. At this point, however, Duchess Durand is going to stride towards you, Eloise, and take your hand and sort of like try and drag you aside and go, "What is the meaning of this, Eloise? What are you doing? Luca, we have known him for years. For years. His family has so much money. You would never have to worry about anything else in your life. You do not know. I know I do not look it, but your mamma is not a young woman. I will not be around forever. And then who is to take care of you? You have to make a suitable match. Who is a suitable match here? This man, apparently not this man. Jonathan, you're being gestured towards. So what are you? Is this the person that you are deciding to throw your life away with Luca, a fine match for? Is it? looks at Jonathan again.
It was never about a suitable match for me. It was always just about money and material things. Mother, there's more, absolutely more to life than just that. The suitable match will come, but if you spend all of your time worrying about that on my behalf, you will stress yourself out into a frenzy. You are currently in a frenzy. Please, just let me
Let
live
you
my
what?
life.
Let you what? What
Let
does
me
living your
live my
life look
life.
like, Eloise? What does living your life look like?
She doesn't say a word. Instead, she just walks up to Lavinia and grabs her hand, and she says, "It looks like this."
I don't know how Lavinia would respond to that because this is the first time Eloise has paid her any attention. And so
And also, Charles is holding her
Charles
other
is
hand.
also there. Yeah. So I think Lavinia's kind of looking between them and is going to like lean over to Charles and say, would you say that your family has a lot of this kind of tension, or would you say that you all get along rather well?
Lavinia's like, I'm
Lavinia is still like, I have to make a decision. I like Eloise, but I don't know if I want to be hitched to this family.
Charles is going to lean back and say, I mean, about 75% sure my brother also has a thing for you, so that could probably cause some tension. But in general, you're okay, kind of. But I will also go away because I'm an officer in the military, so that's not ideal for the leaving you with my lecherous brother. And you don't seem to like. I don't know. Do you have a preference between us? Actually, between me and anybody else?
I like take it all in and nod, and I'm like thinking about it, and I squeeze his hand like tightly, and then I look over at Lady
Eloise is
Eloise.
still holding
Yeah, I'm holding both people's
Lavinia's
hands.
hand.
I look over at Eloise and I say, yes, this is what our future looks like as friends. Like squeeze Lavinia's hands. Just kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to be like someone's like, I'm with them because it makes my mother mad. Like Lavinia's like, I don't think that's what I want. So it's just like, yes, we're the best of friends. And sometimes that's the only match that you need.
Okay, I'm just going to give I'm going to give Jonathan a chance to respond to everything that's happening here before the Duchess weighs.
He is looking for exit strategy right now because this is like, I want out of this situation.
Run, Jonathan, run!
You can literally just turn around and leave. Like nobody's holding your hand. Everybody's holding each other's hands. You can leave, or you can go and hold hands with the Duchess. Just
No.
Jonathan is a free man.
You have agency, unlike many of the people in this room.
Yeah. He sees the scene. He looks towards his friend Charles, where he definitely knows. Okay, this man is lost. And yeah, gives a small bow and like, I think it's better if I will leave right now. It seems like you have a lot to discuss between you, and yeah.
I would just like to also point out that because of their tense relationship, there's a decent chance that Jonathan has heard the scandalous rumors about Lavinia. So, do you think Jonathan would have heard the rumor that she has what some might call a job?
Probably.
Would
but
you would you have told Charles?
I mean, between friends, yes.
Okay. Okay. So and so
Probably on the walk to this place, or when Charles was basically like, yeah, I want to see Lavinia and all that stuff, and on the walk, basically like, yeah, I hear this rumors about her. Are you sure?
yeah. Okay. Cool. So okay. Thank you, Jonathan. You can now bow out and make an exit if you want, but like hang out in the scene. Okay, so given that Charles knows this about you, Lavinia, I think Charles would keep holding your hand, but be like, so you know how, do you, my dear, I don't mean to be indelicate. You do know that if you and I are to continue this courtship, that you perhaps should not, you should consider not doing things for money.
Oh, well, my darling, if you and I were to begin a courtship, I would never do things for money.
We're just, thank you, I think we're just beginning our courtship.
Yes.
Oh, okay, well, that's good to know.
Continue. Well, you know, in the eyes of society, if you were to continue our courtship, of course I would have no need for income.
It's good that that you're clear on that. Also, are you planning to maintain your friendship with gestures towards Eloise?
I think I said, of course, friendship is worth more than gold.
Yeah, that's. Hmm. Charles is looking confused about his life choices as well.
And I think I hold his hand very tightly and say, and now that you've announced our courtship to everyone in the room, of course we must continue it.
And like, so Charles notices that while all of this has been brewing, not just the butler, but a whole bunch of the staff have kind of been creeping and like watching the drama. So he's like, well, fuck. So, so, Eloise, so this is what's happening with Charles and Lavinia. So Duchess Camille Durand walks up to you and says, my dear, I do not understand you, but you have just made two men run from this house for some reason. You are holding hands with this girl who is, I don't know, she is apparently in the middle of or has started a courtship. I cannot quite make out, but what is it that you want from me? I do not understand how much more I can give you as a mother. It is. What is it that you want, my child?
I want you to love me. I want you to accept me. I don't want to fit in the box that you hold me in at home.
My dear,
That is all I've ever wanted.
My dear, if you are looking to redecorate your room or make a bigger room, that is fine. What box are you talking about?
I think this is the point where Eloise kind of just gives up, and she kind of just sighs, and she says, ask your sister, ask your twin sister, she always understood better. And she just storms off and heads to her room.
So I think as you're storming off, Lady Wilkinson will have, who was obviously listening from like a hallway, would like come in to intercept you and like hug you and say, Eloise, my dear, I might not understand everything about your generation. I do think that any young lady with this much spirit deserves more of a chance to learn more about who she is. Certainly your mother did at her age. Beatrice is not the only one who knows this. You are welcome to stay here as long as you like. And I've seen some of that spirit that your mother had at your age in you, and I would like to see you use it responsibly. That's all we want for you. And I will tell you what, I'm going to go to London tomorrow. I'm going to take your mother with me because apparently there's a vast difference between Parisian fashion and London fashion, and I believe she could help. I think going to the city and meeting more people will do you both some good. But you must come. You must stay, even after your mother returns home. I implore you to stay. At this point, I'm going to say that I will give Lavinia another chance to say anything to wrap up, and Eloise another chance to say anything to wrap up. And then I think we're going to skip the reputation phase and go straight to epistolary to just explain what happens at the end of the summer.
I don't think I have anything else to do in this novel phase, so I'm happy to. Lavinia just has been like, we're courting now. Yeah.
Okay. So Jonathan has left the building, quite literally. So Eloise, is there anything that you would want to say to Lady Fitzwilliam or to your mom?
I think she comes to this realization in her head about why she's been doing the things she's been doing. She does talk to Lady Fitzwilliam after she's cooled off. Like she doesn't commit to going to London with them until later. But after the initial conversation, she goes to have a think, and then maybe the next day she will say, I will go to London and we will have a nice day together.
That makes sense. So with that, we close out the novel phase, and we will go to epistolary. I will say, for the sake of time, that you will each do one letter. Would anyone like to volunteer to go first, or should I pick names?
I will go first.
Mm-hmm.
And she will write to her aunt again. And she will say, Ma chère Aunt Beatrice, it's been a while since I've written to you. Mother's visit has not gone the smoothest. I think we have struggled very much to understand each other. And I'm not sure if it is going to get better. But I will promise you that I will spend my time here in England doing better for myself and figuring out exactly who I am, beyond just the daughter of a duchess in France. I have always appreciated your support, and I hope Mother isn't too angry at me. All my love, Eloise. P.S. Are there any eligible young women at home who might convince me to come back for a visit? Love you.
Very nice. So that's Eloise's exposition. Who wants to go next, Jonathan or Lavinia?
I go next.
Go ahead.
I don't want to be like an ass, but I got a red shout.
Oh no! No! Oh no. Okay.
So, since this is probably also nearly at the end of the summer, where Jonathan needs to leave for London, so he writes to Charles. So, my dearest friend, I hear the news that you are in a courtship with Miss Lavinia, and I want to congratulate you for this. The last time I went past your family's household, it seemed like there was quite a lot going on. um, from the voices that I could hear outside of the house. I hope you're doing well and that you will still come to London even if you have now a love at home. See you then. Yours, Jonathan.
Thank you, Jonathan. And last but not least, Lavinia, what do you have to say?
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to get my camera to focus on me. It's just sort of, okay, there we go. I was trying not to be distracting during Jonathan's letter, but I was like, don't focus on my mic. Yes, so I think Lavinia's letter is much later, after this, like several months later. And it is to Edward Wilkinson, the brother. It's to the brother. And the letter says, my dearest Lord Wilkinson, wasn't the wedding just beautiful? Your brother and I ended up having to get married so quickly as he was to be deployed again. But I was so happy to have seen you there. And now that Charles has been deployed, I find myself quite at a loss of what to do in this big, open, lonely house. I hope that during the time that your brother is away, we might find something to bond over so that neither of us will be too lonely. And feel free to come by whenever you would like, as my home is your home as well. Signed, Lavinia Fitzgibbon.
Not First of all, you're Wilkinson now, Lavinia Wilkinson.
Yeah, you're right. I am sorry. I didn't change my last name in real life, so I forget that it's what people do. But yes, I'm Wilkinson now.
Or he can be, whatever rank of military.
He could be, yeah,
Fitzgibbon.
He could
sure.
be Fitzgibbon.
I have never. Fitzgibbon. I have never heard or read a Regency era love letter that sounded more like a booty call in my life.
It's open to interpretation.
Well, I'm interpreting it. I'm a facilitator. I'm interpreting it. It's a booty call. Wow. When did Good Society turn into Game of Thrones, people? That's what I want to know. Oh my God. Okay. Well, so this has been a lovely and confusing game of Good Society. I'm going to just go around the table, give everyone a chance to tell you where you can find them on the internet. They are probably different in real life, I think. Who knows? So let's start with Eloise, or as she's otherwise known sometimes, Anne.
I think you're muted, Anne.
Damn it. I forgot about that part. Fun fact. I am not like Eloise, except for the last 5 minutes. You can find me on Twitter at XO_girlwonder. That's where I yell about all the fun stuff I do. I spend 50% of my time over on Girls Run These Worlds. This week is my last session for Regency Remix The Hidden World, which is our Fae realm Regency story. So that is ending this week in terms of our live shows. What else is happening? I don't know. I do a lot of stuff. I yell about it on Twitter. If you want to hear about the times I spend playing a Power Ranger, you can at me because I am brain dead and tired and cannot process things anymore. Thank you for watching, everyone.
Thank you, Anne. I'm going to next throw it over to Jonathan/Caro.
Yeah, hi. I'm Caro. You can find me on Twitter with the handle Blaine Unrivaled. I'm not that active at the moment on Twitter, but I see all the scandalous rumors spreading around there as well. You find me like 90% of the time here on Hoard of Tales. The other times I'm just running out and about on other channels. So yeah, that's about me.
Amazing. And last but not least, Taylor/Lavinia.
Hi, I'm Taylor. You can find me pretty much anywhere online at Roll for Felicity, Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube. I'm pushing for 100 subscribers on YouTube, YouTube and Twitch, where I do one-shots of a bunch of different systems, including I've done Good Society before. So if you liked this and you're like, I want more of it, you can check out on Roll for Felicity. And tomorrow I'm actually going to be on Girls Run These Worlds playing a game called Trash Pals. So if hearing about Regency Remix wasn't enough to make you go follow Girls Run These Worlds, then come see me play a possum tomorrow. And I really quick want to just say thank you, everybody, for having me. This is my first time on Hoard of Tales. And Porna, this was so great playing this with you. Ida, thanks for your producing work behind the scenes. Very wonderful. And this was so much fun. So I'm just happy to be here.
That is really sweet. And it was so nice to play with you all too. Ida, I want to do a shout out to you as well and have you say the things that you do before I close it out.
Body voice, please speak to us because you don't have a thing on the screen.
Yeah, do it. The best present you can give a production person is to put them on the spot at the end of a stream.
Are you? Is this mic
Let me
live?
check.
Okay.
Oh,
Sorry. Okay. My bad. So Ida's awesome. Please put your socials in the chat, Ida, so that people know the cool things that you do by following you on various socials that you would like to be followed on. And so me, I am Purna. You can find me on Twitter at Purna Mazumdar. I use she, her pronouns, and today I have been the facilitator for Good Society. I will also be playing a part of the Pride streams at Daisies and Dragons tomorrow, Glitter Hearts, which is going to be really fun. And we're all like chaotic teenagers, which is a very different vibe, obviously, from people who want to romance each other constantly and hold hands. And so there's that. I will also be playing with Hoard of Tales again day after tomorrow, playing Apocalypse Keys, which I'm also super excited about. On the internet and in TTRPG realms, I write, edit, do some voiceover stuff, and I would love to do more of that. So please check me out and kindly send some work my way, because I need to buy a real Regency dress at some point. So, but before you do all of that, please go subscribe to Hoard of Tales wherever you can find them, on Twitch, on YouTube, on Twitter, and come and see what else they're up to, because they're up to a bunch of cool stuff. Thank you for joining us today for the stream, and have a great rest of your time zone.